Hello, welcome back to another episode of Bandwagon. I'm your host, Eric Nelson. I want to thank Ryan Osbar for bringing his time and talent to episode 3. I also want to thank my good friend Skinny Webb for the studio space and the overall production of Bandwagon. For episode 4, we have a very special guest tonight. He probably doesn't really need any introduction in the Omaha music scene. He's an amazing guitarist, amazing songwriter, but most of all, he's an amazing human being. And the guy has brought joy to his listeners. He's brought joy to children at Christmas. And he also is responsible for providing heat to families of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation on cold winter nights. With no further ado, I bring you Larry Dunn, rocker and philanthropist.
Man, how do I live up to that?
I don't know. Well, you are living up to it. You're doing it every year. So yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. And we'll get back to the Pine Ridge stuff. But I was thinking as I was kind of preparing, coming up with some ideas. I've been well aware of your music and your presence in the Omaha music scene for over 20 years, but I don't really know where your music journey began or how it started, and I was hoping you could start off by sharing that a little bit.
Wow, nobody ever asks that.
They don't? Gosh, that was the first thing I thought of.
I guess it started as a dorky junior high school kid, where if you threw a ball at me, it would be more likely to hit me in the face and me catching it. I had no physical talents. There was only one way I was ever going to get a girl, and that was playing guitar.
Oh man, you made the right choice.
Like with a lot of us, just a young man's dreams of rock and roll stardom.
Yeah.
And back in those days, it was all AC/DC.
Yeah.
Knew every song.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Right
So
on.
that's kind of where it got going, and then got in my first band in high school, and my bass player in that first band, Joel, he turned me on to the Blasters and roots music, and that Marie from the Blasters basically shaped the rest of my musical career.
Really?
Hearing that one song, yeah.
Cool. I'd be honest with you, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh man. Wait a minute, got a pick in there. Marie, playing your guitar on the back porch, I sit in my car while you sing so sad, Marie. Like every rockabilly roots band anywhere has played it. I don't know why you haven't heard that. That's crazy.
That is awesome. I know. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that I haven't heard of.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, just think of all the songs and all the bands. I mean,
you can't hear it all anymore.
Yeah, even if you sat in a room every day and listened nonstop to music and that's all you did, you wouldn't hear it all.
Right.
So.
I would get that gig, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather be writing it and playing it.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you got to be inspired listening, but it's a lot funner to write and play it.
Definitely.
So, but okay, well, I first met you because what I like to do is kind of, to anyone new to the show or jumping on the bandwagon, we do a song together, which we're going to do after our chat, and I kind of reveal the connection with the artist because I just think that's cool. I mean, all the people we meet over the years and all the music we played, I mean, it's all meant to be shared. And I first met you, it was probably roughly 15 years ago, and it was actually on 89.7 The River for a toy drive for the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. I don't really remember if we really talked. I think we might have shook hands and said hey.
Right.
But there was a bunch of musicians coming in and moving through.
There's a ton of them coming.
Yes.
I couldn't have told you where you and I first met, but that sounds right.
I was trying to think of that.
Okay.
The first connection, and that was it.
That was it.
And you and Rick Galusha were hosting it. And,
right.
And shout out to Rick Galusha for all of his wonderful work on PS Blues for all the years.
Definitely.
Yeah, great dude. But yeah, so speaking of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, now, do you want to hit some high points on that? Like what inspired you to do that, or?
Yeah, I guess I'll start by explaining what it is for anybody that doesn't know. But Pine Ridge Indian Reservation is the absolute poorest county in the United States. Basically, poverty level, third world type stuff right here in America.
Wow.
I started spending a lot of time on the reservation about 22 years ago, and seeing the conditions. Somebody was talking one year about how most of the kids don't get anything for Christmas. And so I came home from my trip that year, and I set up a little benefit concert at a place in Benson in Omaha, and we took up a pickup truck load of toys for the kids that year, and that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
And now last year we took a Mack truck full.
Wow.
So
that's gotta feel so
just
great.
something I never planned other than that first year, and it's just woo, it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, what was your connection to the reservation?
Well, I follow the Lakota spiritual ways, and
Cool.
so sweat lodges, vision quests, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so through working with the medicine man on the reservation is how I got more involved in seeing what the conditions are like. And meeting the people there. I've got a lot of good friends there now.
Awesome.
Yeah. Some of these kids that we've got toys for, I've watched them grow up, and like last year I took toys to their kids.
Wow.
Yeah, which
Full
I'm
circle.
on my second generation now, which
That
is crazy.
is so awesome, man.
It is, yeah.
Gosh. How rewarding.
Well, it is. It's awesome, but it's also in some ways and when I talk about it, I get, sorry.
No, go.
But nothing's changed in 20 years, bro.
Hmm.
That's the part. Yeah, it's great, and I love doing it, and it's it's a big thing.
But their situation's still the same at the end of the day.
Yeah, and so that part is tough, but do what we can.
Yeah, yeah. And it kind of evolved to where with the propane.
It's evolved big time. After, I don't know, the first 4 or 5 years, we started getting more successful, having a little bit more money donated. Every year, I would go up in the spring and I would hear, oh, so-and-so's grandmother passed away over the winter, froze to death. Froze to death in America.
Yeah.
21st century.
Unreal.
Yeah, stupid, just stupid. So that year we started buying propane for elders, and excuse me. And actually, this year, after 20 years, we have morphed more into, we are just doing propane now. The toy drive part of it is over now, and we are focusing just on the more life and death stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
So last year I delivered my last toy, which is kind of sad, but we're also going to focus more on keeping more people alive. And warm. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That is just amazing that you're doing that. It really is. I mean, talking about putting your money where your mouth is,
it's
to step up and do that and to follow it through for so long. You said 20 years?
20 years, which, boy, when I started it, I often joke, it's like, boy, if I'd have known it was going to go 20 years, I wouldn't have started it.
Yeah.
which is not true.
I know,
but I had I couldn't have imagined at that point.
Well, and it's got to be a lot of work. I mean,
it's a fair amount of work, yeah, but I love it.
Well, yeah, of course.
And when you get a call and somebody's grandma's out of propane, I get calls and texts all winter long, and there was a grandma. As with a lot of poor communities, the grandmothers are raising the grandkids. Mm-hmm. And so I remember getting a call from a grandma one year, it's probably 3 or 4 years ago, and she said, I'm almost out of propane. I have probably enough propane either to keep the heat on today or to make some soup for the kids for lunch. I never have to worry about that, whether I'm going to be able to make my kids some food.
I've never known anybody in my life who remotely had to worry about that.
No, you shouldn't know anybody that does that. And that's where it's rewarding, when I can say, Grandma, make the soup, propane's on the way.
Yeah.
And so that's how I get paid back. And again, I get all.
Well, guys, you should. I mean, you're invested.
You'd think after 20 years I'd be hardened to it.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Yeah. Well, obviously you're a good soul, so I mean, for doing it. So you probably got a little soft side there too. So.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I was gonna say that was 15 years ago when we first met. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit now.
Yeah.
And I really got to know you a little more about 10 years ago when a mutual friend of ours, Rick Hilliard, lots of Ricks in our lives, Rick Galusha, Rick Hilliard, connecting the dots. He recommended that I bring my guitars to you for setups and repairs. And I took his advice, and I did, and I've been bringing them to you now for about 10 years, and always do a great job. And when I first was bringing them to you, You were living in Omaha at the time,
Right.
but you since moved to rural southwest Iowa,
Yeah.
and you recently opened up your own guitar shop
Yeah. Yeah.
out there. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Breezy Acres Guitar Repair, the little piece of land that we own in southwest Iowa, a little slice of heaven there.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
We call it Breezy Acres.
Yeah.
Can you cuss on this show?
Yes.
Okay, we call it Breezy Acres because it sounds nicer than the wind never fucking stops. Which is
Yeah, you kind of are up on that hill
we're
right
on a
there.
hill there, yeah.
Yeah.
So it just sounds a little
Yeah.
more quaint that way. It's easier to fit on the business
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
So all of I do some work as well, and so that falls under Breezy Acres. So we've just used Breezy
Yeah.
Acres for the art that I do,
Yeah.
and for the guitar repair, and yeah, just finally just not too long ago finished building a new building
Yeah.
on the property where I have my I've got my little wood stove in there.
Did
all
you
my
get
work
Did you get the
benches.
chimney?
I did finally get the
Oh,
chimney
nice.
up. I've been having
Very
fire
cool.
every morning. Yeah,
Awesome.
It's awesome. It's
Yeah,
lovely.
that is so cool out there.
So I work on guitars there now, and you know, it was sort of a if you build it, they will come
Yeah.
kind of moment,
Yeah.
because almost as soon as the building was finished and the electricity went in, I got a call from Legit Music. I'm doing all of their repairs now
Awesome.
too.
Awesome.
So excuse me. So yeah, that business is growing, and you know, more and more guys like you that need a little love for their
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
Well, great. You should be. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
man.
and I walk about 50 yards across the yard to
Go
to my
work.
new building.
Yeah,
Go to work,
yeah. That's
Sometimes just in my jammies, it's nice.
Yeah, and I work from home, so I've gotten spoiled. I walk up a flight of steps.
Right.
I still don't want to do it though. I still don't want to clock in. It's still a job, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain. I'm
But
going to
it's a
drive
little
in traffic.
easier.
Yeah, yep. And I've been really enjoying the Strat that you set up for me.
Oh,
here.
nice,
Here,
awesome.
what, about a week ago or so?
Yeah,
So, yeah. Well, cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about? If not, we're going to go ahead and play a song of yours.
Yeah, no, I think that's all I got.
Okay.
Thanks again for having me. This
Well,
is
yeah.
awesome.
Well, yeah. You bet. And we're going to do a song. What's it called?
Whiskey, Jesus, or a Gun.
And it's off the album.
It's off the Lash Larue and the Hired Guns album. You can get that on iTunes, I think is the only place you can get it. Or if you stop out to the place, I think I've got a couple of discs.
All right.
I'll give you one. They make great coasters, if nothing else.
All right. Well, make sure you check out his music. It's a great album, and you're going to love this song. Thank you. All right.
Sitting here in the cold and dark, thinking about my life, wondering where I went wrong. Will it ever be alright? Thinking about what's left for me since you had to run. What's it gonna be tonight? Whiskey, Jesus, or a gun? Who'll take this pain away now that you've said we're done? What's gonna save me tonight? Whiskey, Jesus, or a gun? Who'll take this pain away now that you said we're done? What's gonna save me tonight? Whiskey, it's a Bible